Hello everyone, today we'll be doing the passing of an age quest and pick up the surface memento collectible on the way. If you only care about the memento, skip directly to minute 249, as the route is the same. At the end of the video I'll also show you the bonus cutscene that you unlock after finishing the game in Act 3 for completing this quest, but don't worry, there will be a clear spoiler warning before that, so you can choose to experience it yourself instead if you want to. Alright, so let's get started by picking up the quest. You can pick up the quest in Act 3 in Putrefied Ducts at the top of the end of the lake here once you get the Silksong ability. Once you're in this area, rush to the right and pass the lake almost to the end of this area. Then climb up and use the Silksong ability to progress further up. You're going to find the slab here, and if you talk to it, you're going to be able to acquire the quest, which will ask you to go to different locations and talk to Mr. Mushroom. Keep in mind that the NPC will only show up if you go through these locations in this specific order, otherwise he won't appear. The first location is in Moss Grotto in the ruined chapel. Hop up and to the left of the bench that was before the Moss Mother fight, and once you get here, play your needle in. Don't forget to exhaust the conversation with Mr. Mushroom afterwards. The second location is close by in Bone Bottom, where Chakra used to be and sell maps. You will find Mr. Mushroom on the same platform. The third spot is at the far right end of Farfields, on this top right platform here. The fourth one is on the top left of Greymore, just before the entry to Wisp Thicket. Moving on to the fifth one, we're going to the slab. You will need to have the apostolate key that you can grab here in the Putrefied Ducts to open up this area. Use the key to unlock this door if you haven't already, and once inside, drop down and head into the room on the right. From there, use the Silksong or the double jump ability to reach further up, then to the right and finally down. Here you can fight an optional boss for a nice reward, and to the left you'll also find Mr. Mushroom. Location 6 is very close by. We're going to start from this yellow marker here and make our way up to where we got the double jump skill. That's where Mr. Mushroom is waiting for us. And for our final location, as well as the path to the surface memento, this one is definitely the trickiest. We're going to start from Songclave and go to the left towards the Cogworks for a bit. Once you reach this pile of rocks over here, stop on its left side and use your Silksong ability to go up. The start of this path is pretty easy and pretty linear for a while at least, so just keep on progressing normally for now. Once you get to this platform, use the Silksong ability to be able to progress further. If you position just right, you should be able to make it all the way to the top and then go to the right hand side in the next room. Avoid the steam coming out of the walls until you get to the next place where we're going to have to use Silksong again. Keep on going to the left, and once you reach the end of this path, use Silksong to go further up, and then to the right. Keep moving until you reach this spot and then use Silksong again. There's a small gap in the ceiling that lets you climb higher, but it might take 1 or 2 tries until you line it up correctly. The next location where you need to use Silksong is a lot easier to figure out. Just sit exactly where the light is shining and use the skill once more. Okay, now just go to the left and into the next room, and here is going to be pretty straightforward. Just hop up here and go to the only available path until we reach the next room. Here we're going to have to Silksong again. And then just wall climb further up. Now technically for this next part, you could have just jumped on those spikes to the left hand side. I use Silksong. But regardless of how you decide to get there, it's fine. We need to get to this position and then actually Silksong and go further up in order to progress. And here is where we defeated the boss previously, and we're going to find the skill, the Pale Nails skill. And this is where you can come and acquire it if you haven't already. Once you finish picking up the skill, if you haven't already, Silksong again, and you're going to find an opening in the ceiling right here. And we're going to enter a new room. And here we're gonna have a few mobs. You can deal with them however you prefer, either fight them or just needle harpoon them and pass them. Personally, I prefer to just deal with them, you know, in case I fall back down. I don't want them to damage me more than needed. But regardless of how you decide to progress, keep on going in zigzag through this maze. As we already discussed, it's pretty straightforward, with the mention that it just got a bit more spiky and dangerous. You'll be glad to hear though that there's a bench nearby soon, which is a light at the end of this tunnel, quite literally, so just be patient until you reach it, and you'll at least have a save point nearby. Now we're going to swap to the Architect Crest and activate Overdose mode. To do this, we'll fill up the blue hearts using the blue file we got from the Alchemist, then reset our tool usage with the crest and repeat the process until our entire HP bar is blue. This gives us auto regen, which will make the upcoming path a lot less painful. Pair this with the Druid's Eyes so you can gain mana for your Needle Harpoon every time you take damage, the Weave Light Charm so you can spam the Needle Harpoon faster, and add the Ascendant's Grip Charm to let you cling to walls as long as you need, either until you're ready to jump or until your Silk auto regenerates so you can use Needle Harpoon again. Now that we're nice, blue and sticky, we can go further. Jump on the wall in front and then pogo off the ball to the next stable platform. This part gets a little tricky. Once you latch onto the wall on the right, jump once, then use the Needle Harpoon and only after that jump again. Once you're here, double jump, use the Needle Harpoon to go to the right and then use the Needle Harpoon again to hit the pogo wall and go to the next stable platform. Just like before, we'll repeat the same process. Jump, use the Needle Harpoon, then jump again to trigger the double jump and grab the wall. Keep on repeating this pattern to continue climbing upward. Also, pogoing with the Architect Crest is a bit trickier because of its diagonal downward slash animation. So if you're using this crest, make sure you get as close as possible to the target or to the pogo ball before attempting to pogo so that you don't risk missing your mark. When you get to this next point, take the upper path. From here, you're going to be just about a minute away from your rewards. This section starts off best with your Needle Harpoon. Use it to grab yourself to the enemies or the walls until the flying mobs group up close. Once the walls close in and the path narrows, that's your cue to switch to pogoing. Even if you're using the Architect Crest, pogoing right next to the enemies will almost always land a hit. Just watch out for the spikes on the walls around you so you don't hit them when you're pogoing on the mobs. For this final part of the climb, be careful not to use your Needle Harpoon too quickly after jumping. If you do, you'll end up hitting the spikes on the opposite wall instead of latching onto it. It may look simple, but this section is actually a bit trickier than it seems. Don't get discouraged though, once you reach this point it usually takes only a few tries to get the timing and positioning just right. And congratulations, you've reached Mr. Mushroom again, but don't go back yet, we have one more thing to pick up here. After you finish your quest with Mr. Mushroom, jump up on the wall above you and head straight to the right until the end and start playing your needling. And this is where you're going to obtain the surface memento. If you found this video useful, fun or entertaining, don't forget to hit a like, share and subscribe. It really helps me know that I'm heading in the right direction and motivates me to bring you even more content like this in the future. I'll play the bonus cutscene you unlock after finishing this quest and defeating the final boss in Act 3. If you want to see it, stick around and enjoy the show. But if you'd rather experience it for yourself, now's a great time to hop off, no hard feelings. Stay frosty and I'll see you in the next video.